Chapter 7. Welcome back to my channel as we review and discuss my book, Addicted to Being Broke. Let's talk about eradicating poverty and mindset. My name is Agnes Wanja. If you're new to the channel, do take your time to go back through the other chapters. We're currently in chapter 7. You can catch up as we continue the review. Chapter 7. Where are you? I actually really enjoyed writing this chapter. I don't know what it was about it, but there was something very comforting about getting to this place. So I started off this chapter just writing about mindset, because this whole process, this whole journey, it's all been possible because of my mindset and developing my mindset as well. Because there's a lot of times, or a lot of people who get stuck in the same situation because in their mind they don't believe anything better is possible for them or anything better will happen for them. So anyone reading the book, I wanted them to see the theme of the mindset running through it, because this was just about my financial situation, lack of financial literacy, and how it impacted my life. But it could be something else for someone. But being able to adjust your mindset a little bit, being able to look for what if it happens for me, rather than it will never happen for me. What is the outcome that you will have? So I discussed all the different sort of things that run through your mind when you're thinking about why make a change? What's the point? What's the point? But all of that is the conversation going on in your mind, and it's your responsibility to find a way to change those conversations and saying things like I need change so I can have a better life. I need change so that I can see what it's like. I need change. And this led on to, but why? So I go on to write about why I even wanted to write the book, why I wanted to make sure I finished writing this book. And in this chapter, I feel like that's when I discovered why the why is so important. Being able to attach a strong why to anything you want to do is one of the main reasons you will succeed in what you do. If the why is not strong enough, there's a possibility you will drop whatever it is that you're doing and not see it through to the end. So in this chapter, I write about my 2 whys. I didn't want my children to make the same financial mistakes that I did. And I wanted my grandma to see my book and be proud of me that I've written a book. I don't think she'll be proud of the fact that I had financial difficulties, because she'll be like, I taught you better than that. But proud of me being able to write a book. So my 2 whys were strong enough to see me through the whole process. And I learned through the process how important the why was. Because at first, I just wanted to write a book because I really want to help other people. I really want to help anybody else that might be facing financial struggles to not go through what I went through. That's a good why. But it was just not strong enough. There's so many other people that can help them. There's so many other books, and there's more successful people that can help them. So why me? And that's one of the things that was holding me back, in a sense of why me? Why do I think I can make a difference? Why do I think it can be me? But although that why was good, it was just not as strong as the other 2, because they were so personal. And I'm grateful that I discovered that, because that really helps me to just push things through and get to the end. And then I go on to write about, before I could start taking real action, I had to identify, where am I? So hence the title, Where Are You? So where was I? And I basically came up with these 3 stages: drowning, floating, swimming. Drowning is basically where I was at the beginning of the book, when I started writing the book, where your bills, your debts, your financial situation is just way over you. You can't see a way out. In the book, I write the drowning stage, and I just start it off by saying, There was a time when I was drowning, sinking in my financial hardship to rise no more. I could not see a way out, although I knew I had to get out. I knew I was destined for better, but I waited for it as though it was going to happen by magic. And it was actually one of my friends that called this the drowning stage. And then I came up with the different stages. But it's basically just talking about you just have no control. You feel like you don't know where you're, like which direction you're going to go in. How do you even start to address the problem? Which direction do you turn? It's just too much to think about or talk about. That's the overwhelming feeling, and you feel as though you're drowning in your debt. You're drowning in your financial hardship. And I woke up in the morning, was the first thing I'm thinking about, money, 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 money. And it's like, it's not a way to live. Like, you should not have to put yourself through that. And being there, it's not that you do it to yourself. Situations happen that you find yourself in that place, but it's not a place to stay. It's just not a place to stay. We move into the floating stage, and the floating stage is basically what we discussed in the previous chapters, where you get into the place where you've started to contact your creditors, you're starting to contact those companies. So the phone calls are starting to slow down, the letters are starting to slow down. You start to feel as though that you've got control of this. You've got control. Not everything is paid for. You still have debt, but you have control of it, and you're able to do payment plans and go through your credit report and actually have the mind space to just go through it and deal with it, so you feel as though you're just on top. you're just on top of things now. When you get to this stage, sometimes it can get comfortable, where you feel like, no, you've got everything under control now, so you can sit back and it's fine. When I get paid, the money is enough to pay all the creditors what I said I was going to pay them, pay my bills, and yeah, that's it. It is good to be in that place, but it's not to get comfortable and stay there, because what we want to do is get to the next stage where you're swimming. In the book, I write about a swimming stage as the swimming stage is when you feel a little freedom to move around financially, having a little money left over at the end of the month, a stage where you can take part in social activities without worrying that you're stealing from the rent money. And this is basically the stage where you have a little bit more financial control and you can say yes to that outing with your friends. It can even get better, because you can get to the place where you're able to save more money, invest for your future, do things that you're not able to do in the other stages. So the more you grow in this stage, the better you can be. And this is where you can then lead on to get into that, hopefully, more of the passive income stage. And you have so much more financial freedom. So get into that stage where you can revisit your hobbies and do more things that you enjoy. Like, I enjoy traveling, weekend breaks, getting away now and then. Those are the things that give me excitement. You know, you have something to look forward to. I enjoy that. So being able to get to that stage was so encouraging, especially knowing how far I've had to travel to get there. In the swimming stage, you also have to remember and make sure you don't go back to the floating or the drowning. That is your responsibility. And as I said, things happen, so many things happen, but you still have to keep your eyes open to make sure you're not going back into that place that was not nice. So I hope you've enjoyed the review of chapter 7. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe and join us on this journey. If you've got any comments, do drop them below so we can get into a discussion about it. And I will see you on my next video, which will be chapter 8.